John Anderson, the 50th anniversary. Hey, look at us. We're still here.
Still alive.
You look good, my friend.
Thank you. So do you.
It's such an honor to be with you, as always. Hey, John, can I tell you something as someone who reads from a teleprompter on CNN every Saturday morning? This is complicated stuff, man. A man conceived a moment's answers to the dream, staying the flowers daily, sensing all the themes, etc. First of all, you wrote it with Steve Howe. Am I right?
No, I wrote the song basically, I can't remember. But I remember writing the song and bringing it to the band, and I'd already written lyrics, because that was my gig, lyrics. And I still don't know what I'm trying to sing about, but I know I was very stoned.
That part, you're sure?
Yeah, of course.
Could you have written this if you weren't stoned?
Of course.
You think, okay, just not as well.
No.
But my point is that when I look at it on paper, when I print it out from lyrics.com, it's complicated just to read it aloud. How in the world for so many years have you been able to hold it together and sing it in front of a live audience?
I just do it because it is what it is, and it sounds pretty good to me lyrically. And sometimes I'm pondering what I'm singing about, and I'm pondering now. I
am of an age, of course, where liner notes mattered.
True.
Guys like me would sit in our bedrooms with headphones on, and we would try and figure out what guys like you were really singing about. Did you know what you were singing about?
Sometimes, yeah, because the most of it was the idea of the balance between your thoughts and your actions, and knowing that, and you and I. To me, it was, and you and I being the eyes, the divine. That's all it is. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty complex stuff. I feel like that's missing today in the music. If I still pulled out liner notes, I don't know that there would necessarily be something to them.
Well, you got to hear my new album.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it because
am I.
You've got like what, 4 or 5 hours of material.
I know.
Hey, so I made reference to this at the end of the last hour. I'm looking at the Boston Globe. Here's the headline. Would John Anderson dare to perform Close to the Edge with just a band of teens? Yes. Here's the lead. 50 years ago, the band Yes, lead vocalist John Anderson, bassist Chris Squire, drummer Bill Buford, guitarist Steve Howe, keyboardist Rick Wakeman, crafted an album that would be acclaimed as a prog rock classic, combining complex music and mystical lyrics. Close to the Edge comprised a mere 3 songs, with the title track alone clocking in at just over 18 minutes. The album was certified platinum in 1998, named one of Rolling Stone's 500 greatest albums of all time. I know the backstory. I've seen you do this, and I love it. Tell everybody, who are you on the road with? What's this all about?
Okay, well, I've got 24 teenagers on tour, and I'm still trying to remember their names. I go up to them, I say, Ben, and then they'll look at me and say, no, it's Rick. I said, okay, and so on and so on. But they're so beautiful, for one thing. They're young, they're joyful, grateful, thankful. What more could you ask?
And they love rock and roll.
They can seriously play anything.
I mean, I'm not a musician. I just love listening to Yes and listening to John Anderson. But this is pretty complicated stuff. Close to the Edge? Are you shitting me? It's 18 minutes long. Yeah,
they just did it and do it every show. And I'm mesmerized. I actually woke up this morning in a panic because the guy, Finn, is our great guitar player. There's 5 guitar players. One of them does the introductory guitar part that Steve Howe did for Close to the Edge, which is pretty intense.
Yes.
He got it note for note. And I just learned yesterday he's not going to be on the second part of the tour. So I sent an email this morning to Paul Green. Who's going to play the beginning of Close to the Edge now? I'm freaking out.
Okay, so I know Paul Green. It's been years since I've seen him. But what I remember, and I don't know if he would want to say this himself, but I'll say it for him. He got ripped off by Jack Black and that whole movie. It's his story. Like he's the original guy.
He still is.
Right?
He hasn't changed. He's still wild and wonderful.
Okay, so he's a guy, he's got Philly roots, and he has provided the tutelage for these kids to play classic rocks. How did you get hooked up with him?
Well, I was doing a show at the Spectrum.
Right.
And with Yes, and after the show I came out backstage, and there's about 15 kids with School of Rock t-shirts on. I thought, hello. And I said, hi, how you doing? You play rock? And they said, yeah, we play Zappa. I said, oh, good. And then Paul Green came over and said, would you mind saying hi to these teenagers? You know, they were 13, 14, young kids. I said, hi, how you doing? And would you like to come and work with them and sort of teach them a bit about stage presence? I said, not really. No, I don't want to see them again. Anyway, 2 weeks later, he sent me a cassette of them playing Heart of the Sunrise.
Oh, another complicated song and a hell of a song, but complicated, right?
It was unbelievable. And I mention this on the stage every night because then they play it in front of everybody. And it's ridiculously good how they play.
So on the 50th anniversary of Close to the Edge, John Anderson, Hall of Fame inductee, on the road with teenagers.
Yep.
And like, John, are they turning you on or are you turning them on? I know that when I speak to high school students or to college students, it gives me a rush. I love it. And I derive some sense of youth from them. Does it do that for you?
I feel like I'm a teenager until I do a selfie.
And then what?
Whoa, who's that old guy? That's me.
So you do it in sequence? Like I'm going to see you tomorrow night at the Keswick. Bought tickets when they first came on sale, so it's something I've been looking forward to. But you come out, I assume, and do it like in sequence.
What,
Close to the Edge? Yeah.
Well, no, we start off with Honor.
Right.
And a few others, and a few others, and a couple of this, and a bit of that. Even do it as a Zeppelin song, Kashmir.
Oh, my God.
Which leads into Long Distance Runaround. It's same key, same tempo, called Mashing Up. I just love doing that. So we do 2 or 3 things like that. Then we have a break, and then we come on stage and do Close to the Edge, And You and I, Siberian Katru. What the hell was I thinking of? Lyrically.
But they stand up, don't they?
They do.
I mean, look, you sing these lyrics. It's funny because you said, what the hell was I thinking of? And I'm 60. I'm still looking at liner notes. What can I tell you? Let me go to Close to the Edge. Can I? TC, let me tell you which cut I want you to pull of John's because I had you grab a couple of them. You don't start singing until the 4-minute mark. A seasoned witch could call you from the depths of your disgrace and rearrange your liver to the solid mental grace and achieve it all with music that came quickly from afar, then taste the fruit of man, recorded losing all against the hour.
Okay. Well, seasoned witch would be your higher self.
She's a witch. Go ahead, tell me.
Your higher self, your cosmic self.
Okay.
You know, and she can rearrange your physical self into a better self if you dream big enough, you know, and achieve it all with music that came quickly from afar. See, music is everything. We listen to everything, the birds singing every morning, the trees, the sound of the trees when the wind is coming. It's all music, and everything is music.
But why don't you just write Freebird? If I leave here tomorrow, it would have been a hell of a lot easier for you.
Yeah, it would have been a bigger hit as well.
I don't know if it would have been a bigger hit. I don't know if we'd be sitting here celebrating the 50th anniversary of it. But I guess what I'm saying is you didn't take the easy path. If they're complicated lyrics and they're hard to sing,
especially now. But the idea is I was spontaneous in everything that I wrote and still do. I'm very spontaneous in my writing. I don't challenge the thought. I just sing it. The main stanza at the beginning of the new piece is called We Are Everyone. We are everyone, which is basically who we are. In a conscious level, in a spiritual level, we are all connected. No matter what we get up to, we are all connected.
I know you're a deep thinker because you and I have had lots of conversations in the past. Am I right in remembering that on 9/11, yes, we're at Radio City? Or is that a faulty memory?
Sorry. I was actually in Washington at the beginning. It was the eve before the beginning of XM Radio. And I was staying at the Ritz-Carlton with my wife, Janie. And our friend was around, Lee Abrams. And we had dinner. And we actually went on a boat up and down the river. And the following morning, somebody banged on the door. It was somebody saying, "Turn on your TV." Wow, wow.
I don't know why I had you preparing to play in New York City then.
No, we just done a show the day before.
That's what it was. You had just left the city.
Yeah, and I actually had been to meet this guy in Nederlander. I went to see him because I had this idea of doing a musical about Marc Chagall. And I'd met Marc Chagall on his 90th birthday, and I'd written all this music about him. And I went to see this guy, and he said, yeah, we'll be on Broadway in 3 months' time. And the following day was 9/11.
How hard was COVID for you?
Well, it's just very, very sad for everybody, and who passed away, and the people that loved them, and the heartache of what was happening. And for me, me and Jane, we just live up in the hills, away from the village, the craziness of the village life, and we just got on with enjoying what we do every day. And
but also hard, John, for a guy who wants to perform, because obviously for 2 years you had to be off the road.
Sure.
And also the business dynamics of this industry have changed, where you got to get out and you got to perform. Am I right?
Well, the idea of performing was always there on my mind, but I just dug deep in the studio and got on with some music and ideas that I wanted to fulfill. And as soon as we got a chance to go out, it was kind of tricky, you're going to go out and catch COVID, and it was kind of scary. Like a lot of people went through this all over the world. It was an incredibly powerful time of readjustment and rethinking who we truly are. You know why we live? Any idea why we live? I know why we live.
Tell me.
To find the divine.
See, this is why I was in my bedroom reading the liner notes.
Right.
We live to find the divine. Have you found the divine?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
No, seriously. Have you?
Yeah.
Tell me what that means. Is the divine that throat lozenger?
Yes.
That's what it is. What's the divine to you?
Well, just to know that we are all connected through many different levels of consciousness, many different levels of religion. We're all the same, though. We're all connected to the divine energy that surrounds us all. And just knowing that is a great feeling. Every morning you wake up in joy and gratefulness and thankfulness. These are all part of my new album.
I hear that and I want to believe that, but I also think of the passing of Chris. I think of the passing of Alan. I mean, since you and I have seen one another, both of them are gone. I love being in their company. I'll tell you a quick funny story that Chris left sunglasses and rolling papers at my house.
Yeah.
I never moved them. If you were to come to my house, I have a shelf in my house, and there are Chris Squire's rolling papers and sunglasses. I'll never wear them nor smoke them.
Love that. Love that.
Do you?
Yeah. No. The more I listen to these records, sorry, I got a lozenge in my mouth. These records, the albums that we did, the more I hear Chris's great work. And I knew he was a great bass player, but the sound of his bass and everything, just so much about him. And, we drifted to the yin and yang of friendship all the way through our time together.
Were you able to get back together before he was gone?
He actually came the night of his passing. I was in Maui with my wife, Jane, and I hadn't heard anything about Chris, and we'd been in touch about 2 or 3 months earlier. And I was sort of in this place where so many people around, and then all of a sudden there was this woman to the left of me who was sort of shining. The energy was shining, and she looked at me and she pointed like that, and there was Chris going up into the light and tears coming out of his eyes. He was so happy and grateful. And I woke up Jane. I told her.
A dream.
Yeah.
I thought like Chris came to Maui to patch things up, and you're telling me no.
No, he
in
did.
a dream.
Yeah.
Oh, he did. Right. He did in a dream.
Right. And a few months later, we were in Phoenix and met his widow at that time, Scotland. And she said, he kept saying that 2 days before he went, he wanted to go to Maui. And I said, well, he came. So what can we do? I just love the idea that there's a next world and there's another event in the next life of your life. Your soul is eternal. We are all eternal beings.
And that's also the thread of the music, is it not?
Yeah.
You don't begin singing until the 4-minute mark of Close to the Edge. You're 4 minutes into that song. Talk to me about the mechanics of that particular song.
Well, we had the basic idea of the stanza, as you might call it, season which could call you from the depths of your disgrace, the rhythmic thing, and then into the song. And I thought, I came in one early afternoon, and they were all jamming, and it was wild. And I said, stop, are you recording this? And they said, no. I said, can you just do that again? And they said, what? I said, what you're doing, it was amazing. And Steve said, well, what key were we in? Nobody knew.
Nobody remembered.
No. So I said, can you not just play like that for about a minute or two or three? And they went ahead and did it. And Steve's guitar work, was immaculate. I think they did 3 takes, and I think it was the second take that we said, that is fantastic. Now, all we need to do is stop it right in the middle. And they said, how? I said, well, I've got on my cassette here, Steve played a riff. Can you play that riff? And Steve would play it, and Bill would remember it, and everybody saw him do it, and everybody stopped for about 10 seconds, or 1 second, 3 seconds, just in rehearsal. I said, it's great. You sounded like an express train hurtling along, and all of a sudden you stop. Back again.
Hey, John, it was also a different era when you could turn in an 18-minute long song.
Well,
right?
Yeah.
18 minutes long? It was all of side A.
Well, the thing is that we'd just been on tour of America doing Fragile.
Right.
Right. And we never heard Starship Trooper on any regular radio, but we heard them in all the university radios which had FM. And that's what made us think, wait a minute, if FM are taking over, they'll be able to play long-form pieces of music. And it just happened when we finished Close to the Edge, we were told, yeah, FM's not going to be anymore in America. It's going to be AM. Lee Abrams.
Right. And then satellite radio and Sirius XM, which gave everything else a new life.
True.
One other memory, if we can share this together, it was 2002, given that we are in the Philadelphia area, when we had that great day with the mayor of the city of Philadelphia who proclaimed that it was Yes Day.
I know.
The mayor was John Street. I don't know how familiar he was with the Yes catalog, but I was able to cajole a then city councilman. His name is Rick Mariano, a good guy. Had some difficulties thereafter, but hey, who doesn't, right? Yeah, went away for a while. But he pulled it off, and it was just like that spectacular day. And if you remember, in the formal rotunda of City Hall, all those Yes fans.
I know, I remember.
But there's always been some kind of a special bond between you and the area in which we're located today.
Sure. It just happened that way. I think, forgive me, I'm going to cough a bit.
It's okay.
The DJ, what's his name?
Ed Shockey. Yeah.
Ed Shockey, yeah. See, Ed Shockey would come backstage and just have fun with us. He was such a sweet guy. And all of a sudden we realized he was on the radio all the time. And he promoted the heck out of the band. So when we played original shows that we did, they were always full. And then we played the Spectrum, and it was like a wild event. And then we did the most extraordinary gig at
JFK, John F. Kennedy Stadium. Yep.
And there we are. We're on tour, and we're on tour with I Want You.
Peter Frampton. Yep.
And, 100,000 people are watching the show. It was kind of amazing. And we went on stage and did get some delirium.
Right.
It's kind of funny.
I've shared that story with Larry Magid, who talks fondly all about his recollections of Yes.
In those days, what you would do, you record on 24 track, and you wouldn't record the whole thing in one go. You did it in sections, in 3-minute sections, 2-minute sections, 4-minute sections. And the last section was this big build-up for the I Get Up. And we actually mixed down 24 track to a 1/4-inch tape. And there would be probably the last part of the song, there'd be 5 1/4-inch tapes hanging from the wall. And Eddie offered a little piece of tape on the wall so he'd know which one was coming next. And then he'd take it down and put it onto the reel and, stick it together with super glue. And we lost one.
Hey, I'm thinking documentary.
No.
I'm thinking documentary. We need a documentary on the album Close to the Edge, 50 years on.
Oh,
Can I
yeah.
say this before we run out of time?
Okay, I've got to finish the story.
Real quick.
Well, the cleaning lady came in and cleaned everything out, and she took out that one piece of tape and put it in the bin. So we went running out, and it was raining, and we're inside the bin. We got it, pulled it up, put it on, and that was the ending. Like you said,
You're a good friend. I really love having you here.
Just get it in quick for the adverts.
I hope we do it again. Okay, John Anderson is on tour with Close to the Edge with the Paul Green Rock Academy.
Yeah,
and I'll see you again soon. I hope.
Wish you well, Michael.
Come back. You too. Thank you.